All right, the DXY on the daily chart and the weekly chart, that's what we're going to focus on. We're also going to look at the elusive Gaussian channel with this. We don't real often do that on the DXY, but there's some special things potentially brewing on that. So we're also going to look at quote of the day and a very special car of the day, mind-blowing car. And if you know, if your mind's not blown, maybe your retinas will be with this neon green shirt. It's bright. Even in my camera as I'm looking to the right, blocking it. But let's back on track. Car of the day has got me excited. We're going to look at the DXY on the daily chart, our first bounce really on this counter trend move from our, peak back last September. Been going down, down, down without a really significant bounce. And this is kind of the first one. So counter trend to the primary trend. We'll see how much higher can we go? Are we going to bounce here and, continue this move, or have we peaked just in late February and we're getting ready to move down further, right? That remains to be seen, but we have some more facts to be looking at. So for the daily, it seems so far that this 21 day in the yellow is trying to hold. You can see just a junction box of moving averages trying to hold it like a net, right? So anytime you're kind of right around your moving averages going sideways, it's kind of indecisive, digesting the move. So we'll see. The 200 day in the pink seems to be holding it down, but we'll see if we can get back above it and kind of move above all our moving averages. If you see the DXY anywhere above 105, then it can start to probably move a little bit more bigly. So let's zoom out to the weekly chart and see if we can extract anything else. So nice bounce for the since January. Been a super nice wick off the bottom and follow through. You're seeing that back break above the 21 week in the yellow. Holding resistance on this 21 week SMA, right? That's the median line on the Bollinger Bands, if you didn't know. So holding that as resistance so far, but we've come down and tested the past couple weeks, this week included, on that EMA 8 in the red, and we're holding support after getting above it for the first time back in the first week of February. We have not closed below it. So pretty interesting there. So that's what we want to be monitoring week over week, right? You want to start to look for follow through or things that haven't happened just yet. So a close back below the EMA 8 or the 50 EMA, right, in the green would be a cause for a more bearish case. However, on the other side, right, if we come back up, right, looking at that 105 level again, we're at fresh highs, local highs, not seen since this upper wick here, late January, early January, and to the upside, right, that would just increase your odds of us continuing this bounce, however long it may be. Could we go up to 107, 108, 109, 110, right? Anyone's guess is as good as the next, but let's look at some more facts on that Gaussian channel that says, maybe we have some more upside, but I don't think a whole lot more upside over the next several months. I think at the best case scenario for the DXY, it's probably going to roll again. So even if we go up to, 107, 108 over the next, 4, 8, 12 weeks, I would say that's probably all we're going to be able to get. And that's good for risk on assets like the stock market and crypto, because when the DXY, jumps up like this, that's bad for risk assets. When we're dropping, that should be good, right? Although it started to decouple a bit, if you noticed, we should be, Bitcoin, the stock market should be, well on its way to, full-blown bull markets. And maybe we are, but it should be more evident with this harsh downtrend. So we're seeing a bounce. I think markets are kind of on edge right now. We'll see how the DXY ends up going. Is this only a fraction of where it's going? Is it going back to 110, right? We don't know, but let's look at the Gaussian channel and see if we can see anything there, right? So once this channel turns back red again on the weekly, then we're probably in for some better times for crypto and the stock market. But until then, right, anyone's guess, right? We're in the weekly Gaussian channel. The 5 days usually where the secrets are at. But, very similar on the weekly. The weekly is even bigger. So you can use on the 5 day or the weekly. Anything other than that, it just has too many fake outs to be as concrete of evidence as you'd may want. But so when could we possibly turn this red and get happy times again back in crypto and the stock market? Well, if you project this out, it really looks like it's not going to happen until probably midsummer. I mean, we're looking probably July, right? Because how does this turn red? You have to not only go flat, but you have to start going down. So this, the Gaussian channel is very smooth and silky smooth. We're not just going to just drop and turn red, right? It's going to take some time. You can see the ebbs and flows. I mean, until we start turning down, I mean, look at the dates down at the bottom there. We're looking at probably late June or July. Now, if prices really tumble on the DXY and we're at 90 by April or May, then yeah, we could move this a little quicker. But I would say on average, a good guess for the weekly channel on the Gaussian to turn red, which would really give us some great evidence that the bull market has started for crypto and the stock market. Then new highs are coming, is when this happens. And unfortunately, we could probably continue up in prices, right? Look at the prices. We could absolutely do something like this before getting kind of rejected late summer. So if that happens, right, we're looking at like 107, 108 for the DXY. This in the macro scale over the span of years makes more sense if we're going to peak in 2025 with crypto, right? This kind of fits that narrative, right? We're just kind of moving on up for the next 3 to 6 months, then kind of rolling over. The channel turns red, right? And then looking at last time, right, we just stay under the red channel, and then good times are happening, right? And that this would fit perfectly with the bull market, something like this, where it just blows underneath the red channel. The channel turns red here, roughly speaking, July, and then prices will follow. And peaking in crypto in summer 2025, a couple years from now, down in here, if the DXY is there, that would make more sense. This would be actually perfect because June 2021, May of 2021, right? That's when really this massive bull run started. And what happened in May of 2021? That was our first major rocky shakeout in crypto, right? So this is the exact reason we want to see another harsh bottom. Maybe it will be a little bit higher. Maybe it's around 90, right? Last time it was around 89, just under 90. But this would kind of fit the narrative of looking at way down the line, 2 years from now, a crypto peak, stock market, all-time highs, crypto all-time highs. This scenario is what needs to play out in the macro scale. So what do you think? Is this gonna kind of rhyme with this, or do you think we're in for something completely different? Let me know in the comments. Happy to read that there. But let's get to some more exciting news. Is the 3-day Gaussian channel has actually just turned red. Way back and about Valentine's Day, right? Red for Valentine's. Dumb. It actually just turned green back August of 2021. So keep that in mind. That is pretty crazy. From 2021, look how long this stayed green. We're looking at 537 days before turning back red again. Now, the last time that turned red on the 3-day was July 2020. That lasted again for over a year, right? 390 days. So keep that in mind, right? This is not to be fooled with, but as you can see on the 3-day, right, you can have fake outs every now and again. That's why the 5-day and the weekly are more more fitting. The DXY obviously likes to try to make me look bad, but the 5-day potentially could roll a little bit earlier than the weekly, obviously. Maybe late summer for the weekly and early summer for maybe the 5-day. We'll see. Worth paying attention to that it's also been in the lower band, which is bullish or bearish by definition, excuse me. So entering the channel at all is a little bit more of a concern. Certainly when you do that on a 5-day chart, usually it traps you. So we'll see. The top of that, even if we do go back up, is going to be probably just shy of 108, right? So we'll keep that in mind. Watch for that every so often. Let's look at the daily just for shits and giggles. It's been red, but on the verge of actually trying to turn back green here. So the daily, right, looking at it, maybe we could turn back green if prices get up here, right? Prices are going to actually have to be above the channel for the channel to turn up, right? So we're looking at probably another month at earliest, you know, unless the DXY just goes absolutely berserk. But, you know, the daily just flip-flops back and forth many times. And it doesn't last. So I wouldn't put too much weight in it. But, you know, using the Gaussian channel on any time frame can at least tell you in a snapshot. You don't even have to have prices on there to, you know, be able to tell, right? You can just look at a naked chart on the Gaussian channel, and you could, super naked. I would just remove everything. There you go. We'll just make it blind. So looking at this, you really just tell in a snapshot. Looking at the daily doesn't really help you much, but when we look at a 5-day, right, you can easily tell kind of where you're bullish, and you can do this on the weekly or even the monthly to cut down on, you know, the misinformation, I guess you would say. So looking at where we are now, it looks like it's trying to roll back over to the backside, and that would actually help us for the long term. And I do expect that to happen sometime between summertime and late summer, right? You could kind of see that forecast. Here's 2025, so we obviously need prices in the Gaussian channel to kind of rhyme with this guy, which it looks like kind of just seems like it wants to kind of rhyme with this, right? So looking at this would be our crypto peak, and then once we start to kind of enter the channel from the bottom side again, that would be our another big sign to real aggressively take profits at that point in time over the next couple of years. So we're looking forward to doing that over the next 24 months or so. For the 4 of you that are still here, sorry for all the rambles. We're looking at, there we go. Looks way too busy there. So let's get to quote of the day. Life is given to us. We earn it by giving it. Good one. Let's get to my amazing car of the day. Probably the most expensive car of the day we've had on here, maybe ever. And what's so special about it? I walked right past this over the weekend, last weekend, a couple days ago. I walked right past it. I was like, wow, that's got to be a fake one, because the real one would be like $20 million. No, it was the real one. I walked right past. The real Ferris Bueller Ferrari sold for $18 million at a Florida auction. I was like, huh, what kind of Florida auction? I was like, oh, wow, that's the real, the 1962 250. I feel like I saw the kit car, the fake one of this. No, this is the real one I saw. So I was at the Amelia Concourse last weekend, right? The Florida Amelia Concourse. I walked right past this car. It was sold for over $18 million, and this guy's got people just walking around it. Here's the actual pictures that I took of it. This is it. I'm like, there's no way this is real. He's got people just walking around it. This is it. This was 18 million. Well, that's another story. Here it is. Look at the license plate. I'm like, there's no way this is the real one, right? This is the car that sold for $18 million. That's the guy. Damn. So there's only like 30, just over 30 of these ever made. And to my knowledge, very hard to get in this kind of condition. So it was almost perfect condition, which is also why I thought just not real for sure, right? You're just walking by it, you're handling it. You got people like halfway leaning on your car. $18 million this very car went for. Mind-blowing, right? The 1962 from the actual Ferris Bueller movie, right? This was not the car in the movie, but they made a replica for that. That replica even sold for like 350 grand a handful of years ago. The real one apparently goes for 18 million, and this guy's just got people walking around it like it's nothing. So that blew my mind when I read that story. I was like, no way. That's it. That's the car that actually rolled across the auction line, and $18 million. Someone has a little bit of sentimental value for one of these. For 18 million, that's mind-blowing. Think of how much you could do with 18 million. Apparently buy one Ferrari. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Stay tuned.